was running late, I apologize. Okay, thank you very much. Our final author of the evening, and she's only final because I ran into her at a meeting last week and she said her book had come out, and I said, well, you should join us next week because we're short a couple of authors, and she was like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. So I encouraged her to apply, and she responded right away, so she followed all the guidelines. It just happened to be a different roundabout way. Tara Gazzullo. Gosh, darn it.
That's good.
So close. Memoir, Becoming a Butterfly, and she's going to share that with you now. And of course, she's dressed in
First of all, thank you so much, Beth, for the opportunity. And I feel like I'm here with these amazing, wonderful authors. Thank you so much for letting me share this stage with you tonight. My book is different from any other that you've heard about tonight. My book is me. The pages of this book tell my story. I'm not embarrassed about my story. I'm not ashamed of my story. I'm very, very proud to say that what you see before you right now is the butterfly that I've become. What I talk about in this book is how our lives, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're me, you will always see a butterfly on them somewhere, or you are these precious little boys up here who are listening so intently. The truth of the matter is our lives all follow the pattern that a butterfly does. We start out as that little egg. We're born. We don't have a choice of where we land. A butterfly ends up on a leaf. Then he becomes, when he hatches, into that bumbling little caterpillar. And what you'll find out in my book, a caterpillar eats everything he can. He's trying to learn knowledge, just amassing everything. And then all of a sudden one day, that little caterpillar realizes this is not what I was called to be. This is not who I'm supposed to be, but I don't know what I am supposed to be. So the little caterpillar goes away, just pulls himself into that cocoon, and then all of a sudden, out comes a butterfly. Let me read the little blurb on the back, and it'll kind of give you a little bit more of an idea. Life is a process of being and becoming. Most of us never become what we were destined to be. Becoming a butterfly is the story of my life told in stages and shown on the pages of time. I share how I evolved from an egg to a caterpillar to a cocoon and finally blossoming into a bold and beautiful butterfly. Everyone wants to be the butterfly, flying free and carefree. It seems that almost no one wants to go through the struggle and the process that is metamorphosis. My life is beautiful now, but it hasn't always been so. As I reflect back, it was those dark moments and difficult times that have shaped me into the beautiful butterfly I am today. My past was a prison. When I finally got free, I promised I'd never go back. Becoming a butterfly is about leaving the past behind so you can live in a present that offers the gift of a bright future. I read a quote yesterday by Maya Angelou about we all love watching a beautiful butterfly. Outside of my doctor's office this week, there was tons of lantana. Millions, it seemed to me, probably two, butterflies everywhere. And all you can think about is how beautiful is that little butterfly. But what you're not thinking about is what that butterfly had to do to become that caterpillar. When that little caterpillar goes into its cocoon, it literally dissolves. It literally becomes a soup of cells. It completely transforms out of that state of a caterpillar, and it becomes the butterfly. But what most people don't realize is, and I know y'all have all heard, if you cut a butterfly out of its cocoon, it can't fly, and that's true, it can't. It's the struggle and the strength and the fighting to get out of that cocoon that allows that butterfly to fly. What I found in my case was that when I did become the butterfly, I still thought I was the caterpillar. I didn't realize that I even had wings. I would look in the mirror and I would think, what is that? Who is this person that I see in this mirror? Who is this strong, confident woman who used to weigh 400 pounds and would not look you in the face and would not talk to you? Who is this person that I see in the mirror? See, so many of the times when the Lord takes us through a transformation, we don't see ourselves as that new person. All we see is that little caterpillar. On the back of the book, I did talk about how my life was a prison. The cocoon for me, and I'm not embarrassed to tell you all, was a prison. I spent 7 years in a prison in Georgia. it's not, don't need to know why. I mean, you can ask me later. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed. But the truth of the matter is that was my cocoon. That was where I had to find myself. That's where I had to realize that God had created me for a purpose that was mine, was no one else's. While in that cocoon, I found my passion, which is graphic design. And that's how my book was birthed. I began doing book covers for a gentleman in Texas who has a self-published authors network. And as I started doing book covers, Johnny kept saying, "Where's your book? Where's your book?" And I said, "I don't have a book. There's not a book in me." And what I found out is there's a book in everyone in this room. Everybody has a story. The key is being comfortable telling it. But it's also, you have to be careful about how soon you tell it. Tell it in God's time, not in yours. It's a wonderful little book. Like I said, it's my story, and I'm very, very proud of it. It's not going to be my first book. I have another book in the works already. I'm very, very excited. All the mistakes I learned with this one, I'll not do in the next one, and then I'll have to not do them in the third one. But if anybody has any questions tonight about self-publishing, I can certainly answer some of those. And I have some friends here tonight, and I'm just going to give a plug out to my friend Ed here. He is a brand new author himself for his third book, Using What's Left.
It's your night.
He told me it was my night, but I'm very, very excited about it, and y'all take a chance to read it. And does anybody have any questions? You do?
Where are these books gonna be sold?
They're going to be sold here tonight, and in that room, when Beth's not listening to us, we can tell you where else you can get them. But they're here tonight. You have a question?
I do. So, Tara, during the process of writing this book, you also had a couple of other revelations that took place beyond just the real telling of your story. What were some of those experiences like when you wrote your book?
The healing that came from the book. If you had told me before I wrote this book, I would stand in front of a room full of strangers and tell you I served 7 years in prison, I would have told you you were a liar. But putting it down on paper, the healing process that came out of it, and the confidence that I got, I'm just going to tell you now, when that first box came from Create Space, because I self-published, and I held my book in my hand for the first time, I didn't see a single mistake in it. There are some. I don't care. But when I look at it and I say, and I'll read it and I'll say, I wrote that. My husband and I sat on a Friday evening. We do date night on Friday night. So thank you for a fun date tonight. We do date night on Friday night. And one of the Friday nights was our date night was editing the book. Being able to relive experiences that I thought were the most painful experiences of my life that I look back now and they were some of the most wonderful. So it's a sweet little book. I had a lady who read it last week on a plane from Atlanta to Kansas. She read it all the way, and she called me and she said, I dog-eared all these pages. And I thought, oh no, she's going to tell me all the mistakes. Because see, remember, I'm still thinking I'm that little old ugly caterpillar that could do anything. So all I'm seeing is she found mistakes. No, she told me the exact pages she went to where she dog-eared and what was spoken to her through what I said. Something I had not even an idea someone would read my words and be able to get that from it. So I'm new to this. I'm going to be doing a lot of public speaking, hopefully, about it. I'm going to be doing a women's conference next year called Transformed for a Purpose, because don't think you're not transformed and there's not a purpose in it. But I'm excited about it. So if y'all want to pick it up tonight, that'd be great. I'd love to sign it. I'd love to take my picture with you, and that's my little book.
That's awesome.
About sitting on this side of the author speaking, because I come and I take their picture while they're speaking, even if they don't know it. But watching the friends and the family members